now? Oh, now it says who's talking in the game. Oh man, game changer.
Game changer.
Look at that. Cutting a rug.
What do we want to do now? We want to try the daily heroic? We want to...
Dare we drag Nick on a heroic?
Yes, they can hear us
yes.
all. Sweet.
Yes, let's do the heroic because I want to see Nick spend the entire level dead.
You guys are assholes.
Because he won't be able to damage anything in it.
Nope.
So he might as well just run around and absorb bullets for us.
Yep.
And by bullets, I mean bullet singular, because he will die as soon as someone looks at him.
Nick, just hang back and look pretty.
I'm good at that.
Have you seen his character? He doesn't look pretty.
What? I got green hair, motherfucker.
Yeah, you know what?
There's a cat, so...
Players are not high enough level to play this activity.
It wouldn't even let you.
It wouldn't even... yeah, my launch button is red.
It says no.
Nick, you need to spend more time playing Destiny. We could do the other Venus Strike, Winter's Run, or we could go back to the moon and kill the guy who actually is the bullet sponge.
I haven't done the moon strike either.
The boss fight takes forever.
Is there a modifier on it to make it hard like the other ones were, or not?
When you do, like I said, when you get the strike playlist, once you're level 18, you can select the difficulty of them. So right now, like what we're doing is just dropping into the strikes as you would encounter them in the story. Let's do the other Venus one. Why not?
Okay.
And you can't back out now because I already launched it.
No. Ooh.
Every time I see Ishtar, I think of the monk in Diablo 3.
I just think of a shitty movie.
Those fallen in the Ishtar sink on Venus?
Or
The story is they raided the prison of elders in the reef. Got an Archon priest. The Queen's bounty is high, so we know it's powerful.
Well,
We need to hunt this thing down before they fully restore its soul.
You got it, Malcolm.
Alright.
I think my favorite is when one of the quest givers is Lieutenant Daniels from The Wire.
So whenever he comes up, I
won't take them long to restore the Archon
ask
priest's
to no
soul.
one in particular if they
the
recommend the pre-LED bulb.
So always Colonel Royal. Oh yeah. Fringe. Yeah, I didn't watch Fringe. I did watch The Wire though. Holy crap.
I just ran into a loading screen.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
Our speeders are too fast.
These guys. Are you seriously getting Spirit Bloom in the middle of a strike? Spirit Bloom. God damn you.
Hope there's no Spirit Bloom in the box area.
Well, that's probably good.
Spirit Bloom down, Spirit Bloom. Spirit Bloom.
That was a horrible thought. Captain.
Oh my god, my accuracy is way down for the damage. Punch.
or not.
Vex? What are they doing in here?
We're mining for gold.
Pay attention to what's shooting me.
Nice. I like that.
Nice. That new ability you got?
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
So combine that with my melee attack where I do more damage.
My backstab. Going full.
Punch that cat.
Well, join the party. Too bad. There's another gold chest.
Ledge. Guess we get out on the little light bulb here and jump over to it.
Yep. Booyah. I'm gonna land on the light bulb because I am that baller. Look at that. Not really.
That's really
No!
dumb. Why don't you do a little gameplay on it?
Look at him dance. Break it down. Do it. Do it.
Yeah, I'm going. Let me get on my light pole.
There we go. It's a dance off.
Oh wait, no. There we go.
Yeah, this is
All right, let's. People are watching. Let's stop doing this bullshit.
I think they rather enjoy our dancing.
Maybe.
Break it down. You gotta come up here anyway.
What? No. Refuse. Fine. Oh, bullshit. I don't think I've actually done the strike on this one. Come to think of it. Because I skipped it in single player. And I've mostly been doing the playlists. This one with the ship over at the end?
Well, the ship is here, but you never go along with the ship. You do that with the storage
Well,
machine.
that's bad.
Bye. It absorbs
to get through. I'll check it out.
Can you let us know?
It's locked down tight. Just give me some time.
We don't have time.
Guardian down.
Thank you.
Oh my god, I just put myself up.
Good job.
But I leveled up some.
That was good.
Okay, it's open.
One of the other, speaking of which, one of the other abilities that the Sun Singer gets is the ability to trigger its super after you've died, which resurrects you with your super active.
Huh.
Yeah, that's a really nice one.
That's pretty sweet.
Picking up fallen comms. They're restoring the Archon Priest. We'd better move.
No.
Think they'd mind if we take their pikes?
Shooty, shooty.
Careful, there is friendly fire with these things.
There is.
I'm very power. I don't have a bit of power.
Shoot each other so close.
My bike's a little bit on fire.
Hey, made it through with all 3 bikes going past us.
That is basically like victory.
A cell from the Prison of Elders. The Archon Priest is still inside.
And we won't get up from the space. Pretty deeply. Yeah.
A well-executed flanking maneuver.
I need some ammo.
This sounds like a trap.
You sure this is a good idea?
Probably not. Not in the slightest.
dead up there?
Yeah, I'm back.
Oh, there he is. He's up with me. Hello. Doesn't look like the Lincoln Tunnel, Sam.
Very marginal.
Oh, stop, dude. Found himself guy. I wanted to say that ever since I was Demolition Man.
What?
Oh, your soul's down? What the hell?
20 seconds.
I cannot get to you. Well, one of you has a low timer.
10,
I got 10 now. Shit.
5. Watch your left.
Respawn, you son of a bitch.
I'm back.
I'm back. Okay. Jesus Christ.
Gotta keep things
I had a
moving.
sliver of life left. Someone on my butt, too.
Wow, that was crazy looking.
down.
Where you at?
Nick.
I can get him.
Drop something.
Oh, he's so dead. Die.
Got it. Alright.
It was better off in the prison of elders. I'll contact the Vanguard. Let them know the Archon Priest is dead.
PS4 version.
One more fallen Archon gone to dust. Good. But if the Fallen found the Prison of Elders, I'm sure we'll be hearing about more heists like this.
Okay,
Today,
now.
we celebrate.
Woo!
Some people, when they've been reviewing this game, would say that that is a bullet sponge boss, and frankly, I think it makes the fights a little more tense. Because if you could just like unleash on a boss and drop it real fast, these wouldn't be difficult. But I like the idea of having to execute so cleanly.
Yeah, no, I liked it. That boss fight was a lot more fun than the first strike that's on Earth. Because
Yeah.
the first one is just kind of like you're not really moving too much and stuff. Like this one, you kind of had to duck and dodge and move and keep it going.
Right. So they're fun.
I got 2 blues. Oh,
Cool,
and I
cool.
forgot to unlock the next ability too.
How dare you forget? So you just hit level 15 then, right?
Yep.
Now you can look at your subclass, or your other subclass, and see how that fits with you. Whether you want to try and go for that or keep leveling the one you got. The nice thing is now any new character you make, you can select their subclass as well.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
This was a nice feature. I mean, it'd be nice if they just let you pick.
earlier on, because I don't know.
Let's see if I've got something cool. Garbage. No good loot.
I got some decent gauntlets. And some new armor. Ooh.
I got like 10 drops from that, but I couldn't use any of them.
Oh, I need a little more steel.
Ooh. Got a bunch of level 7 stuff.
There we go. Now I should get upgrades.
Does anyone in the stream want to see anything in particular, or should we just keep doing stuff?
Let's see.
I'll obviously we're a little level restricted because of Nick, but...
They want to know, is everyone happy with the class we chose? Any regrets?
Can you repeat that, sorry?
Are we happy with the class we chose? Or is there any...
Yeah, I wasn't really sold on the Warlock so much early on, but
as my abilities unlocked, the options allowed me to tailor it a lot more to my liking. Basically, if you played a lot of MMOs, like, character classes tend to fall into roles,
and as this is a shooter, there's not really a whole lot of precedent for a true MMO. I mean, there are other massive online games like PlanetSide and Borderlands messes with it to a bit, to an extent, but I feel like you could actually create true support roles and things like that with character builds you can make. And there are definitely ones that are more powerful for rolling solo and some that are better for group. Like, if you can... The difference between the Voidwalker and the Sunsinger is largely a question of buffs. The Voidwalker can dish out a lot of damage, but the Sunsinger tends to make more orbs of light when it blows its super, so the orbs of light allow other players on your team to fill up their supers by collecting them, so my Voidwalker might generate 3 or 4 with a good blast, but
I was rolling with my Sunsinger earlier, and I actually I took out a pack of enemies and got 12 out there. And a lot of the higher level stuff kind of requires that you
take your characters and coordinate, keeping your supers rolling as often as possible, because otherwise you have to wait for the timer to go up. And so I'm happy with it. I haven't really tried the other classes too much, but I'm happy with what I chose, and I really like it.
So this is pretty
really
cool.
long-winded answer.
I just kind of picked this up, but the in-game chat, it's relative to our position, so the farther we are away, the more static it adds to it. I don't know if you guys realize that. So right now, we should all be pretty clear when we hear each other.
Yeah.
But if, we now separate, and we'll go as far away as we can, and then remember this way, and...
He's done the same to me. Yeah, he's done the same to me.
Well,
but I'm just using the regular, stupid PlayStation headset, so...
Okay, so... I can...
Actually, no, you definitely do have more static now.
Yeah, it's easy to pick up for me right now. It adds a radio kind of thing to it. It's kind of interesting. So,
yeah, it's pretty neat.
Does a lack of split screen dampen the co-optedness of the game for you guys? I'm not a big local multiplayer guy anyway, so it doesn't for me, but I know a lot of people that were pretty disappointed. I've seen a lot of posts around of folks actually bringing another TV into the living room, picking up another copy, and another PlayStation. It's kind of crazy.
For me, the thing that is disappointing about the co-op is that in order to randomly invite someone into your game, you either have to do it from the tower and find someone standing around and open a contextual menu and invite them, and then if their privacy settings are set a certain way, it's not going to work out for you. And inviting players that you meet randomly in the world, though you'll run into a lot of them, you will, they don't stay still long enough for you to do that, so it gets a little awkward. There's no true lobby system other than the pre-match. When we go to orbit, technically that acts as a bit of a lobby, but we already all have to have joined the same fire team. However, I find that doing the strikes with random people, I've had really good luck. People, especially once they've done it once or twice, they're really good at doing what they need to do, and I've had a lot of people just go and show people where they can find chests and stuff, all without voice comm. So that's pretty neat. The other unfortunate thing is that all the players you meet in the world, where you're like free roaming doing patrol or on a mission, they will, like if they're in proximity to you, they will stay connected to you, and you're technically, doing some like ad hoc co-op with them.
Right.
But if you walk, like if I walk, so say you can see me. So we've met each other, we're fighting, we're going side by side, and then I run off in this direction.
And you wait a second, I stop here, and you come run right back and try and find me.
You're not going to see me anymore, even though we were close to one another.
Right.
And that gets really weird when you're on your speeder bikes with somebody and you're rolling through an area, and then you both turn around a corner and everyone disappears, or you're rolling with people and you're staying together and you're on a single-player mission and you drop into the respawn-restricted fog, and then all of a sudden everybody disappears from your game if they're not in your fire team.
You probably bring a good point. The online, or the lack of local co-op is probably due to the way the online works and all the extra network overhead that would be required for, two players to stay in sync and bring in everybody else and stuff like that. That's probably why it's not
part
there.
Part of me says that, because you basically all but, it says you don't really need a gold count or PlayStation Plus to do most of the stuff in this game, except like if you don't do the strikes or the multiplayer and you're just playing for the regular co-op, you should be able to do that free of charge. Because everything is clearly marked when it requires PlayStation Plus.
Right.
So, I mean, it could be a technical reason because the worlds are huge and open, and if you have to leash players together to not stream the world out twice. I could see that being a technical reason. The other reason is, this isn't, Bungie refuses to call it an MMO, but this is a fucking MMO, and you have an account, and your account is what you log into the game with. The disc is just a game client. It's not really the game.
Yeah.
If you think about it in a traditional sense. You put the disc in, and you have no internet connection, you cannot play the game, at all.
Very well.
So the online requirement might be part of that. But I despite all those caveats, I find myself really enjoying it, and it does, I found that I liked it more the more I played it. And the early goings where things felt a lot, really disappointing at times, they kind of went away, and well done.
The biggest disappointment in this game for me is not the multiplayer is weird and quirky, but generally if you've got a group of friends, you can play it together without too many issues. Granted, you're not trying to play it locally, but the really disjointed story, or really lack thereof, just Bungie always puts a lot of care into stories, or at least lore into the world, and the game just feels so flat in terms of that. It's just the painful genericness of you're a guardian, and there's the traveler and the stranger and the queen, and everything has just some generic ass title. The enemy you're fighting is the darkness, who are out to snuff out the light of the traveler. And, after, several Halo games worth of just cool lore and fairly well delivered story, it doesn't feel right. It feels like it feels like there's something missing. They forgot to, patch it in right before the end. And I think, was it Jason Jones was their big story dude, and he's no longer with Bungie, so that could be part of it. Obviously, this is really cool outside of this part of what really kills it. we're more interesting, and none of that exists within the game.
Yeah. But you know, if you look at it as a game that's structured an awful lot like Phantasy Star Online, then, you know, you're probably gonna, you know, enjoy it. You know, you're really just kind of roaming around and doing stuff. And sometimes it's with other players, and sometimes it's on your own. But there's always something for you to do, and the game goes out of its way, especially once you pop out the menu, saying, hey, here's like these 4 daily activities for you to do that gives you bonuses. You know, the vendors, you know, they cycle through stock, and sometimes they sell legendary gear that at other times that they don't.
There's an NPC that only appears every few days that sells exotic gear. So there's constantly reasons to come back and check these things out.
Yeah.
So it's really, like, it's really hard. When I wrote the review, I'm like, if I write this for the Halo player that really likes the competitive multiplayer, then this is probably going to be disappointing, because this doesn't have the competitive multiplayer of Halo. The shooting feels really good, but you know, you don't have like oddball modes or big team battle or any of that kind of stuff. So you're a little restricted there. And if you're trying to write the review for someone who wants to play this like a Halo game and roll through the campaign co-op, you know, it's like, I can't recommend this to you, because the campaign itself is fun to play, but ultimately kind of boring, and the story is bare bones. There were 4 or 5 cutscenes in 10 hours of, you know, campaign. And Dinklage, I don't think he actually delivers as bad a performance as everyone wants to say.
I think it's supposed to be what it is.
Yeah, like he's a fucking robot, and he talks like a robot, and everyone thought he was going to be like, you know, Tyrion Lannister as Cortana,
And it's really not like that.